What's up guys, Rich Duperbash, and I'm out here for my maiden run with all new ARRMA Kraton 6S version 4. So I already put a video out, as well as Vaz with Aussie RC Playground. He did a couple really nice bench videos just recently on both this truck and the Typhon. Also, I want to give a shout out to my good buddy Thomas P with TP Parts RC Extreme. If you guys want to have a real good look at the new Italian, definitely check out his vids. And Eric with RC Dude 81. So shout out to you, buddy. He's absolutely killing it with his the new Typhon. Just like in my other videos, I always recommend upgrading to beefy aluminum front and rear chassis supports, as well as an aluminum servo support. I usually go with Voltage Hobbies because the Kenny stuff is just top notch. In any case, today I've decided to basically run this truck completely bone stock. The only thing I've done to it, I vented my tires this morning, and I've done a previous video on how to do that. The technique I like to use that I borrowed from somebody else online, but basically using the brass tubing. I went ahead and put in my yoga mat to protect my lipo, and then I upgraded, I went up with a pinion to a 16 tooth. So, you know, normally I'd recommend at least running the upgrades I just mentioned, plus a skid plate for the rear and a bigger front bumper. But I'm just going to go ahead and run this basically bone stock. I really want to test the system out and just see how it does. If I have any breakages, so be it. I'm just going to drive like I normally do. Once I can kind of get the feel of the new control, it does feel a little bit different. Both the wheel and the throttle spring feels just a little different than the Tactic. So not a big deal, but I'm going to feel this thing out and just kind of go for it. Ooh, that was a little rough. I really want to kind of just see how these tires hook up. This is kind of a mix of rock and kind of sand and loose dirt. Whoa. Well, I'm definitely digging the tires and the suspension setup, guys. Oh, guys, well, I noticed I was having a hard time controlling the truck, and you'll see what's occurred here. For some reason, I don't think I've ever had this happen, but my battery strap actually snapped. And so I've been running for I'm not sure how long with my pack completely in the back of the car here. So anyway, I'm going to look this over, try and figure out what's going on, and I'll get back to you guys. The strap didn't actually bust. It basically unhooked off itself. So anyway, I don't think it was something I did, but you know, I'm not certain. I've never really had this happen before. So I'm gonna get this squared away. Unfortunately, I got a report we got an issue here. So you know, this kind of went against my instincts to just go ahead and put aluminum, at least upgrade to aluminum chassis bracing front and rear. Definitely, you know, like some Voltage Hobbies or GKA, something to that effect. But you know, in looking at the design, it's a brilliant design. It looks like the top bar is still straight, but remember, this thing was flush with, this used to sit flush here. Well, that's because the whole rear end of the truck's lifted now. So it did bend my chassis. I have no problem straightening these by hand, you know, once I strip the back end of the truck and kind of line it up. But my plan right now is I'm going to see if I can fix this. I brought my my highly upgraded truck with the M2C chassis, etc. My V3 Kraton. So I'm going to go ahead and borrow those chassis supports, throw these on here, and see if I can finish this run. All right guys, hopefully I'm getting a shot of this. This is the stock brace that I just pulled out of the truck, and you'll see it essentially snapped right where the bolt comes in to lock it down. So it actually bent this way, and then it kicked this way right here at the screws. So anyway, hopefully I can get the brace lined up. I'm going to try and pull the back end off and straighten this right here, and we'll just see how it goes. Now it's getting better. Me personally, I think this Voltage Hobbies looks just beautiful with this new ARRMA cross brace. All right guys, so I got her all buttoned up again. Chassis is nice and straight. Took a little time, had to pull the back end off. The battery strap mishap, I got to take ownership of that. I think what I forgot to do was run my strap all the way up over the top. That's pretty critical, because when it's getting pulled on, what it'll do is it'll tighten right around this 90-degree bend. And so I think that's what happened. That's a really important tip. Make sure you put a little hole through the top of your little wire mount, and that way you get a hole on each side. You have to drill that real carefully, so you can zip tie this. Otherwise, oftentimes your wires will pop out and get up into your gears. It's definitely happened to me more than once. And that's shout out to RC Bashing the Kraton. I forgot who came up with that idea, but it definitely works killer. Ooh, that should be a good test. Ooh, that was harsh. Oh! All right guys, that's going to be it. I'm out of time again today. I gotta say, other than my little mishap with the stock plastic chassis braces, this truck definitely handles better than pretty much any ARRMA I've ever had straight out of the box. Again, I didn't do any tuning to this thing. All I did was gear it up to a 16 tooth. I checked my temps, they're perfectly fine. But again, just as you guys gear up, remember that's your responsibility to check your temps. The only other thing I did was the tires, and I vented those. This thing is an absolute animal, guys, so huge props to both Horizon and ARRMA. ARRMA just keeps pushing the envelope with every new model. So all right guys, until next time, late.